Jayson Tatum and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander put on a show. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got a little more help than Jayson Tatum did, and they lived at the line. We'll talk about that, the Celtics three-point shooting, and a tough loss to a really good team right now in the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yup. Being down, be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Back to back, if I say it, it's stamped. Locked on number 19, the best one, the next one. Juice loose in your pool now for the next run. It's the C's, who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis, recap the madness. Every game, every practice. Best daily pod, no cap like Brad Beckett. Clutch like Drew to KP, tap in daily. Prime time, dapping D White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. And I got you covered every Monday through Friday with a free podcast that drops directly to your device if you are subscribed. I got bonus podcasts on the weekend. Celtics play a back-to-back Friday, Saturday. I will have bonus podcasts on each of those nights. If you're subscribed, it's right there, going to be on your favorite podcasting app. It'll be on YouTube. You can watch a show on YouTube, get into the comment section, share your thoughts with me, John Karalis. I have been covering the Boston Celtics for 20 years now or so, doing it as a beat writer now for Boston Sports Journal. I've also written a couple of books about the Celtics, so you can go check those out. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers, you can bet $5 if your first $5 bet wins. You get $200 in bonus bets. So go check that out over at FanDuel.com. Celtics lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder in a game where, just my quick overview, Thunder had this game from the beginning. They came out through the big first punch. The Celtics missed their first few shots, and it was just, they were always chasing the entire game. Even when they came back and tied it up, the uphill climb to finally get to that spot, then the Thunder just went on their own run. And so, first and foremost, credit to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They came in. I thought they controlled this game almost all the way throughout. Of the 48 minutes, there might have been 5 that they didn't really control. So, that's an impressive win. It's an impressive performance by the Thunder, and they deserve all the credit in the world. Both teams were shorthanded. The Thunder did not have Jalen Williams. They did not have Alex Caruso. The Celtics did not have Kristaps Porzingis. And I do think the absence of Porzingis was a big deal. Later on, I'll get into Al Horford and Derrick White, who were great. The three-pointers and the free throws and all of that stuff are coming up also in a little bit. The lack of Porzingis certainly was an issue because the Celtics, look, the Thunder love to get to the rim, and having a deterrent back there would have been very, very helpful for Boston. To have a guy as impactful as Porzingis, who, by the way, was there. We saw him walk through the locker room pregame. He looked like, I want to say he looked like his normal self, but he seemed a little subdued, I guess. He seemed a little like, he looked like a guy who was still getting over an illness. I don't have no other way of putting it. Seemed just a little bit like the volume was down to 8 instead of at 10 with Porzingis. He seems a little bit more upbeat when he walks through the locker room, and he was like a little subdued. He did come out to the bench area for a little while, so he's around, but still not ready to go. And I think it's just going to be a game-to-game basis of, will he be ready? But he wasn't, and I think the Celtics paid for it. And I think when we look at the fouls, Jaylen Brown fouled out, Derrick White fouled out, Derrick White's never fouled out, I don't think. This might have been the first time ever. Jaylen hasn't fouled out very much, but without Porzingis back there and the pressure that Oklahoma City puts on you, that's tough. And I think the Celtics defenders probably thought they could be a little bit more physical, but again, to OKC's credit, to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's credit, the Celtics put their hands on him, and he knew exactly how to manipulate the contact. He knows exactly how to manipulate the refs. You can scream and yell about the some of the fouls that he got, and sure, maybe there's some legitimacy there, but if your hand's on him, there's one foul on Jaylen where the hand was on him, and all SGA did was, yeah, he turned and hooked, but he turned and hooked on his way up to gather. And even if you reviewed it, you're not going to get it overturned because you can say he hooked him, but because he's slick and he did it on his way up to gather, you can't change that foul call. And maybe every rational person, and even the ref might say, yeah, probably, but because he gathered, I can't say, I think he did this. All you can say is he went to gather and Jaylen's arm was in the way, and that's a foul. And that's just how it goes. That's what an MVP candidate can do. That's what a guard who drives as much as SGA knows how to do. He has the little tricks. He has the way to get himself to the line 11 times. That's just how you're supposed to do it. And some of it is off-putting, but when you're good at it and you can make it look like an actual basketball move, there's nothing the refs can do. There's nothing anybody can do. The Celtics did not challenge any of these fouls because they knew there's nothing you can do. So slick, Thunder are, I put on my YouTube page here, Thunder legit, because I needed to get it like a 2-word thing. We've known they were legit. This was a very good game. The speed at which they played, the pace, the control. Mark Dagnall is the best coach in the NBA, I think. He's really good. He's just so good. He has these guys playing together, playing with a purpose. It was incredible. It was incredible to watch. And you see it when you watch them on TV, but seeing it in person, you're just a different appreciation for it. So yeah, that's if this is the NBA Finals, I feel like the Celtics are going to need Porzingis to win this. They could win it without him, but man, they'll really need him to make it. I don't know if convincing is the right word, but they'll need Porzingis. Tatum and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I saw some grumblings online. Now, I have not seen the ESPN coverage, but I saw some grumblings that at halftime was all about SGA being awesome and almost nothing about Tatum. They played basically the same. It was kind of like a toe-to-toe. Jayson Tatum shot 52% on his way to 33 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. SGA shot 55% on his way to 34 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. So Tatum even got him on the rebounds and assists by a little bit. 5 turnovers for SGA versus 4 for Tatum. So basically, a duel to a standstill for the most part. But Tatum had like slightly better numbers. This was an incredible duel. And honestly, Tatum would have had probably 10, 11, 12 assists if some of these other guys could hit some shots. I think one of the big takeaways here, other than the 3-point shooting, which I'll get to, and the free throws, which I'll get to more in a second, to me, the biggest takeaway is SGA, even shorthanded, got more help. Chet Holmgren was really, really good. 23 points, 15 rebounds. Lou Dort, even though at the end his percentages might not have looked great, Lou Dort I thought was really good and hit some key shots. And they got contributions from Hartenstein and Kenrich Williams, and they just got a bunch of different contributions. Tatum got contributions from Al Horford and Derrick White, but that's kind of it. And that's where this game, it's a 6-point game. that's where this game was lost. We'll talk about the lack of help. Jaylen Brown admitted he had a horrible game. I'll talk about all of that when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by TurboTax. Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back, and then waiting and wondering and worrying some more. Now, Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your day. An expert who will find you every deduction possible and file every form, every investment, everything with 100% accuracy. All so you can get the most money back guaranteed. No waiting, no wondering, no worries. Now this is Taxes. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service. Real-time updates only in the iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Today's show is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Yes, John, all the time. Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, three big things for me, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center so you can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So stop just managing your money and start building wealth. So you can get surprising insights. You realize just how much money you're spending on food delivery, so you can budget smarter and save instead of juggling multiple apps. Monarch can check your finances, track your spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever because you can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Super important on that last point. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Please go sign up for the new Locked On Celtics newsletter. Go to LockedOnDaily.com, LockedOnDaily.com. Click on that Locked On Celtics logo, enter your email, and I will send you an email every Monday through Friday with Celtics coverage, plus NBA coverage from around the network, fantasy coverage from Locked On Fantasy, links to your favorite Celtics content around the web. And if you miss a podcast for some unknown reason, it's a great way to keep up and kind of see what I've been talking about. So go check it out at LockedOnDaily.com. Click on that Locked On Celtics logo and enter your email. Jaylen Brown, this game could have easily changed if Jaylen Brown had an even average game. He had a horrible game. This was a really rough night in 38 minutes. He fouled out. He finished with 10 points on 5 of 15 shooting, 0 of 5 from 3. It's his second straight 0 of 5 from 3 game. He has missed 11 three-pointers in a row. The last three-pointer he hit was in the fourth quarter of the game against the Lakers. So he is ice cold from 3. He has not had a good shooting season, and it is getting worse. This is a problem for Jaylen Brown, and the volume has to really be something that he looks at. But at the same time, you got to keep shooting with confidence. And that's the tough balance here. I don't think he should be taking 5, 6, 7 3-pointers a game. Unless he's got it going, then I suppose. But his bread and butter is getting to the rim, and he couldn't do that. He said after the game that he didn't match their physicality. He did not match. Here's the quote: "I didn't meet their level of physicality tonight. I had no free throw attempts, and that's unusual." And later on, he said, "I thought we had a good game plan. Just got to win those matchups. We didn't win them tonight. I didn't win mine tonight, so that cost us the game." And it's as simple as that, right? Jaylen, the Celtics had both their stars, and Jayson, 33 points on 52% shooting. Like I said, 5 of 5 from the line. That's that's a Jayson Tatum night. Maybe you can get to the line a little bit more, which I'll get to in a second. But he needs his co-star. He needs a big performance. Like him and Jaylen needed to combine for 50 plus. And again, just an average night for Jaylen Brown would have been fine. I'm not asking him to go off for 30. He averages 23 points a game. Give him another 13 points. I know it doesn't exactly work like this, but Celtics lose by 6. You give him another 13 points, they win by 7. So a normal Jaylen Brown game, nothing even outlier, nothing outrageous. A normal Jaylen Brown game gets you a little bit, probably gets you the win. But it wasn't just him. Drew Holiday, 1 of 7 from 3. Peyton Pritchard, 2 of 9 from 3. He hit 1 at the very end, which ended up being like big in a way. The Celtics, to their credit in this game, kept fighting. They were never out of it, even though the lead got up to, I think, 12 for the Thunder. The Celtics would always climb back, and they took a late lead just by a couple points. But they gave themselves chances. And if you're looking at the positive side for the Celtics is they didn't get a good game from Jaylen Brown. It might have been Jaylen's worst game of the year. They got horrible shooting from Holiday, horrible shooting from Pritchard, not much else from anybody else. Luke Cornett was good, but Sam Hauser hits 1-3. Again, a late 3, which was timely. It was good. Torrey Craig didn't do anything. He only played 4 minutes. By the way, side note, too hesitant, Torrey Craig. Too hesitant. It's the number one thing that's going to cause a player to lose Joe Mazzulla's trust. If you get an open look, take it. If you're going to go out there and be like, I'm not taking this open shot, Joe Mazzulla will say, you are hurting the team by not taking that shot. We put you out there so you can be part of this offense, and you got to take those shots when you get them. If you don't want to take those shots, then you're not going to get the minutes, and that's the end of the story. And Torrey Craig didn't take that shot, and so he sat. And, he also had 3 fouls in 4 minutes and a bad foul on a I forget who took the shot at the end of the first quarter. I forget who took the shot. But either way, bad foul there. So that also contributed to him sitting. You got to be smart on those plays. But the Celtics, Al Horford and Derrick White had good nights. But that's it. Holiday, Pritchard, Hauser, Jaylen Brown especially. You got to get more. You got to get more from them. And the good thing is that most games you will. But again, shout out to the Thunder, who were missing their second best player in Jalen Williams. They got obviously the superstar game from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Chet Holmgren steps up. 8 of 14, 23 points, 15 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds. He played extraordinarily well, hit 3 of 6 from 3. That's big. They got contributions. Cason Wallace gave them 14 points. Hartenstein gave them 11 off the bench. Kenrich Williams gave them 11. Isaiah Joe gave them 11. Like that's a nice contribution. What's that for bench points? 32, 34 bench points for the Thunder to 12, 20 bench points for Boston. Bench points are always hard to come by for the Celtics, especially when they're shorthanded. The Celtics took 63 3-pointers in this one. In fact, in the first quarter, all they hit was 3-pointers. They didn't hit a 2-pointer in the first quarter. It was just all 3-pointers and free throws. The 3-pointers kept them in the game early, shot themselves out of the game a little bit at the end. I'm okay with those 3-pointers. I'll come back. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about the free throw disparity and the wasted night from Horford and White. That's all coming up when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. March Madness is here. FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. So I'm going to give it a shot this year, even though I don't really pay much attention to college. I could have some fun, pick a few of the underdogs. It's all very even. So I'm going to go to FanDuel, maybe check it out with some spreads, totals, games, props. Sure. With tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something to bet on. And the FanDuel app is simple to use. When you win, you get paid instantly. There's no waiting around. Have some fun with it, but make sure you're using the tools that FanDuel has right there. As soon as you log on, they'll ask you, set your limits, set your budget, use the tools that they have. I know it's March Madness. I know it's easy to get carried away. Set your limit, set your budget, know what you can lose in case things don't go your way. And once you hit that limit, you're done, and you can pick it up next time when you get paid and you have a little extra cash floating around. Super easy to gamble responsibly. If you visit FanDuel.com, you can get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA Game Night 7 nights a week. You're going to get coverage of every game in the NBA on Locked On NBA Game Night. Plus, if you subscribe to that, you automatically get Locked On NBA, which is a debate show style podcast in the middle of the day covering all the big stories in the league. This game, I'm sure, will be one of them. So go check that out wherever you get your podcast. Wherever you found this show, you can find that one. 63 three-pointers is a team record. And the Celtics in the first half were shooting great. They hit 15 in the first half. They were shooting 41, for almost 42%. In the first half, the three-pointers are what kept the Celtics in it. They were only down 3 heading into halftime. And then in the second half, it started to go away. The third quarter, they only shot 2 of 13, but they still won the quarter because they were able to match the field goal attempts. Their defense stepped up. They forced a few turnovers. They forced some misses, and they were able to tie the game up. They got obviously a big performance from Jayson Tatum, 11 points in that quarter. Jaylen had his one effective quarter where he was 2 of 3, 4 points, 3 rebounds. This is in a block. That was the one quarter where he did give a little something. Holiday gave a little something there. Hauser and Cornette hit their shots there. So this was where you see like a little bit of help in the third quarter. But the three-point shooting wasn't there, 2 of 13. Fourth quarter, it really went south, 3 of 14, 21%. And they just they had the game tied with about 8 minutes to go, and then it all fell apart. An 8-0 run or 17-7 run, if you want to go that route. 6 straight three-pointers missed. I know that it's tough to watch the Celtics miss a lot of these three-pointers, but the defense was packing the paint. The defense was preventing a lot at the rim. The Celtics didn't run or didn't want to run things that could get them to the rim. And the play was to just keep kicking. And the Thunder were fine with the Celtics shooting those three-pointers. They didn't fall. You know, in the fourth quarter, Jaylen 0 for 3, Jayson 0 for 3. Horford 1 for 2, White 1 for 3, Holiday 0 for 1, Pritchard 1 for 2. 3 of 14. I think they were good looks. I think maybe 1 or 2 you could say, maybe not. But a lot of good looks, a lot of corner three-pointers. Like the Celtics missed you got to trust the offense. And it's easy to say you took too many three-pointers when you miss a bunch. No one talks about you took too many three-pointers when you shoot 45%, right? 40%. Because you win, you score a ton of points, and they did hit 23 pointers, but on a normal night, a 40% shooting night, they would have hit 24, let's say 25. So 4 or 5 more 3-pointers. Obviously, 4 more 3-pointers is 12 more points. You lost the game by 6 right there. There's Jaylen hits a 3 in that fourth quarter. If Jaylen hits 1, if Jayson hits 1, and like even that 6 points gets you into overtime. So the difference between a win and a loss is a simple make or miss in a lot of these. Again, a couple of these were contested, but generally I thought the Celtics drove and swung, and of the 63, I'd say almost all of them, what do you have? 5, 6, 7 that were not great. You're going to get that anyway. No matter what you shoot, no one's going to have a perfect shot selection night. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to react to the misses. I thought the offense was fine considering the defense that OKC was playing. Just got to knock down some of these shots. Corner threes, you got to knock those down. Free throws, obviously a huge problem. 15-point disparity at the free throw line. 25 of 35 for OKC. Celtics were 10 of 12. But again, when you shoot 63 3-pointers, you're not going to draw a lot of free throws. That's it. You could have tried to force the issue. And again, just like the 3-pointers, I think the threes and the fouls are in the same kind of class picture here. Should some of the fouls have been called? Yes. Should some of the fouls been let go? Like, did OKC get the benefit of a couple of whistles? Okay, sure. But you got to expect that. In every game, the other team's going to get a couple of calls. You're like, oh, come on. Now, 35 free throws, they were super aggressive. That's an aggressive team getting to the line a lot. And again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the bulk of them, right? Because he knows how to do it. You go, you drive, you rise up and bounce off the guy. You just take advantage of all the little things where Derrick White was just moving slightly forward. And I'm sorry, that's a foul. If you're moving slightly forward into somebody's airspace, that's a foul because you're not allowed to do that. And a lot of times it's not called because the guy isn't good enough to feel it and flail. And that's frustrating as all hell, but you're selling the foul. And a lot of times selling the foul is what gets the whistle. And you might say, well, John, Jayson Tatum tries to sell fouls sometimes and he doesn't get the whistle. Like, yeah. Sometimes he doesn't get the whistle. He's not as good as selling the contact. Maybe he's got to get better at that. Maybe that's something he's going to work on. But the Thunder got like nothing egregious. Holmgren, seven free throws. Okay, but that's not out of the question. Cason Wallace, 3 of 4. Hartenstein, 3 of 4. Kenrich Williams, 2 of 4. Isaiah Joe, 3 of 3. Like those are like they all add up. And the Celtics were overly aggressive on some of these, fouling 3-point shooters, fouling jump shooters. Sorry. And then fouls like slapping down at the ball, getting arm. They got into the bonus early. So just like the 3-pointers, yeah, maybe if you go back and you say, erase a couple of the flops. And look, some of them were egregious. There's, one with Jaylen where, again, I hate to say it like this. Jaylen's face guard boxing out and the shot goes up and SGA flops. But at the same time, it's like, yes, Jaylen Brown did something that initiated contact, and SGA is really smart and he flails and flops. And it's like, well, kind of got to call that because technically it is a foul. And you can be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, yes. It's true. It's true. But technically it's a foul. So sucks. You're never going to see a night where Al Horford shoots 6 of 12, Derrick White shoots 6 of 12. You get a combined 40 points from those two guys, and the Celtics lose. This is just so rare to see a game like that. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, 2 blocks for Al Horford. That's an amazing night for Al. Derrick White, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks for Derrick White. An amazing night. How did the Celtics lose that game with those two guys doing what they did? Well, because Jaylen Brown stunk. And just Holiday hits one more three-pointer. Pritchard hits one more three-pointer. Jaylen Brown hits a three-pointer. Jayson Tatum hits a three-pointer. One more three-pointer. 3, 6, 9, 12 points. Boom. Like those little things make miss. Some of it is just make miss. Usually when the Celtics get these performances from White and Horford, they're going to win. This is a wasted opportunity. This would have been a great win against the Thunder. And I know we joked yesterday, is like, well, if they win, it means everything. If they lose, it means nothing. And it doesn't mean nothing. This is a great win for the Thunder. And I don't know what you carry over, because they had a couple of guys out and the Celtics had Porzingis out, and that changes a lot of the dynamics of this game. And in a 7-game series with adjustments, who knows how this goes? But OKC comes out of this thinking, we beat this team twice, and they flat out owned this game. They owned this game. The Celtics had their chances. The Celtics were right there, but OKC was in the driver's seat from the beginning. They were in control for most of it. Jayson Tatum was awesome, but so was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was awesome, and they just got more help from more people, and you could tell they were flying. Their pace was great. Everything was great. Thunder were in control, and they won this game. They flat out beat the Celtics in this game. So I'm sure things would change with Porzingis back. I'm sure things would change in a playoff scenario. I hope Jaylen Brown rests. I don't think he should play in either of these 2 road games, but certainly not in both. At least sit him one. My ideal would be just don't get on the plane tomorrow. Just stay home, sleep, go to the arena, go to the practice facility while a team is in Miami. You go to the practice facility, get your treatment on the knee, get some rest, get a massage, get some free throws up, work on your 3-point shot, or just get off the feet, whatever it is. Meet the team in Brooklyn. Don't make that trip up and down just to sit out in Miami. Don't get on a plane. Don't get on a pressurized tube, which exacerbates inflammation. Don't get on that tube and fly down to Miami just to be in Miami. All right? You can go to Miami whenever you want. You don't have to go down there on this trip. Stay home, take the shorter flight to Brooklyn, and then you can play there if you need to. But personally, I would love to see him take both those games off. This way he would have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 5 days off. They play Tuesday. Why not? Why not? They can beat Miami. They can beat Brooklyn. Take the 5 days off, rest the knee, get it right, strengthen the, do all the strengthening and stuff around it. Relax, come back, get that home game next Tuesday against Brooklyn. Go on that West Coast trip, have your fun. That's my plan for Jaylen. I hope he listens. I hope they do it. But hey, shout out to OKC. You won. The story's going to be all about you. And maybe the Celtics can get a little bit of they don't believe in us thing going. Because after this, they might not. After this, the people might be like, I don't know about these guys. So maybe there's a silver lining in that you get to play the us against the world thing. They counted us out after OKC. They counted us out. Cleveland, OKC, they counted us out. We're the 3rd best team. And now you get that little something to fight against mentality. I don't know. I will be here with a new podcast. This is a Thursday podcast. I'll be here with a new podcast for Friday. We'll have some fun. And then bonus podcasts Friday night after Miami, Saturday night after Brooklyn. So go check those out. And very easy to do if you're subscribed, because then the shows show up directly on your podcasting app. So subscribe, watch the show on YouTube, come in, join the rest of the Celtics fans. A lot of you in the comment section, start those threads. I love seeing those threads, have these conversations, share your thoughts. And then I would love it if you shared the podcast and told everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.